October 11th, 1998. Jessica Marie Crawford sits in her silver Honda Civic outside Miller's Family Restaurant, engine idling. The autumn air carries the scent of wood smoke and dying leaves. She checks her phone one last time. No messages. At 19, she's supposed to meet her study group in 2 hours. Pre-med doesn't allow for missed sessions. She pulls onto Highway 34, unaware she's driving into her own disappearance. The last person to see Jessica alive is Tommy Martinez, pumping gas at the Shell station on Route 12. Security footage shows her pulling up at 3:17 p.m. She fills her tank, buys a Diet Coke and a pack of gum. Her movements seem normal, unhurried. But something's different. Tommy notices she keeps glancing at her rearview mirror, like she's checking if someone's following her. By 6 p.m., when Jessica fails to show for the study session, her roommate Sarah calls her parents. She never misses study group, Sarah tells Mrs. Crawford. Ever. The phone trembles in Linda Crawford's hand. Her daughter is methodical, responsible, the kind of girl who calls if she's 5 minutes late. The search begins at dawn. Volunteer firefighters comb Highway 34. State police helicopters circle overhead like metal birds of prey. Search dogs follow Jessica's scent from the gas station to mile marker 47, then lose it completely. Detective Ray Coleman has worked missing persons for 15 years. This case feels wrong from the start. Usually there's evidence, he tells Jessica's parents. Skid marks, broken glass, witnesses. With your daughter, there's nothing, like she vanished into thin air. Jessica's Honda Civic, license plate JMC 4821, becomes the focus of a statewide search. Toll booth cameras, traffic cams, witness reports, nothing. It's as if the car simply ceased to exist. Weeks crawl by. The media coverage fades. Jessica's face disappears from milk cartons and missing person flyers. Her dorm room at State University remains frozen in time textbooks, open to the anatomy chapter she'd been studying, her bed still unmade from that Sunday morning. Linda Crawford refuses to give up hope. She drives Highway 34 every day, searching ditches and side roads. She's out there, she whispers to her husband Frank. I can feel it. But hope is a dying flame in October wind. Detective Coleman reclassifies the case. Active investigation becomes cold case. Missing person becomes presumed dead. Frank Crawford's hardware store becomes a shrine. Jessica's graduation photo sits on the counter next to the cash register. Customers whisper theories. Maybe she ran away with a boyfriend. Maybe she joined a cult. Maybe she started a new life somewhere else. Linda can't bear the speculation. She wouldn't leave us, she insists. Not Jessica. She had plans. Medical school. She wanted to save lives. By the second anniversary, even Linda's sister suggests it's time to move on. Time to accept that Jessica made a choice to disappear. Time becomes the enemy. Years pile up like autumn leaves, burying the truth deeper and deeper. March 8, 2010, 12 years after Jessica vanished. Construction crews are draining Fletcher's Quarry for a new shopping development. The industrial pumps work for 3 days, lowering the water level foot by foot. On the third day, crane operator Mike Sullivan sees something metallic glinting in the murky water. 45 feet down, covered in algae and silt, sits a Honda Civic. License plate, JMC 4821. The discovery sends shockwaves through the state police. Fletcher's Quarry is 200 miles from Highway 34, 200 miles from Jessica's planned route, 200 miles from anywhere she had any reason to be. Detective Coleman, now graying and months from retirement, stands at the quarry's edge as divers prepare to extract the vehicle. His hands shake as he lights his third cigarette of the morning. The Honda emerges from its underwater grave like a ghost returning to haunt the living. Water streams from its windows, and inside, investigators find Jessica's purse, her student ID floating in murky water. Her cell phone, waterlogged beyond repair. But no Jessica. The forensic team works methodically. The car had been deliberately driven into the quarry, the gearshift still in drive, the parking brake off. Whoever put it there wanted it to sink fast and stay hidden. The autopsy of the car reveals disturbing details. Scratches on the driver's side door suggest forced entry. The steering wheel shows signs of struggle, fabric fibers that don't match Jessica's clothing. Most chilling of all, they find blood on the passenger seat. Type O negative. Jessica's blood type. But it's the car's GPS system that changes everything. Despite 12 years underwater, technicians recover fragments of data. The last recorded destination makes Detective Coleman's stomach drop. 1247 Riverside Drive, Fletcher County. A house that didn't exist in 1998. The address leads investigators to a recently demolished farmhouse. In 1998, it belonged to Martin Hendricks, a 53-year-old mechanic with a history of mental illness. Hendricks died in 2006, but neighbors remember him as strange, antisocial. He used to watch cars go by for hours, recalls elderly neighbor Dorothy Walsh. Had these thick glasses, always writing in notebooks? Search warrants are obtained. Ground-penetrating radar sweeps the property. On a cold Tuesday morning, investigators make a discovery that will haunt the Crawford family forever. Buried beneath Hendricks' old tool shed, they find Jessica. The medical examiner's report reveals Jessica Crawford fought for her life. She was held captive for approximately 6 days before her death. Defensive wounds on her hands show she never stopped fighting, never stopped hoping someone would find her. The evidence suggests Hendricks spotted Jessica at that gas station, followed her car, and forced her off the road. He held her at his isolated farmhouse, then drove her car to Fletcher's quarry to hide the evidence. Linda Crawford, now 58 with silver-streaked hair, stands over her daughter's grave. "At least now we know," she whispers to her husband. "At least now she can come home." But questions linger like shadows at dusk. How did Hendricks overpower Jessica without anyone seeing the struggle? Why did he keep her alive for 6 days? And most disturbing, what happened during those final hours that the medical examiner couldn't determine from the remains. Detective Coleman retires 3 months later, haunted by what he calls the lost time. 12 years when Jessica Crawford lay buried while her family searched empty highways, clinging to hope that had already died. "The hardest part," he tells a reporter, "isn't solving the case. It's knowing that for 12 years, Jessica was right there, 300 yards from a main road, and we never looked." Today, Jessica's case is officially closed. Martin Hendricks took his secrets to the grave, leaving only forensic evidence and the family's endless questions. Her parents still live in the same house, still keep her room exactly as she left it. "Some people say we should move on," Linda Crawford says, standing at her daughter's bedroom window. But how do you move on from 12 years of not knowing? How do you move on from the fact that she was out there, waiting for us to find her? Outside, autumn leaves fall like tears, covering the ground where Jessica once walked. The same season that swallowed her, now marking another year of absence. The silver Honda Civic sits in a police evidence lot, a monument to a Sunday drive that became a nightmare. To a 19-year-old girl whose only crime was stopping for gas on a sunny October afternoon. What we learn: the psychology of predatory crime and missing person investigations. The Jessica Crawford case illuminates crucial aspects of criminal behavior and investigative challenges that continue to shape how law enforcement approaches missing person cases today. Geographic displacement strategy. Martin Hendricks' decision to dispose of Jessica's car, 200 miles from the crime scene, demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of investigative limitations. Criminal psychologists call this geographic displacement, creating distance between the crime location and evidence disposal to fracture the investigation's focus. The role of opportunity in predatory crime. Hendricks exhibited classic opportunistic predator behavior. He didn't specifically target Jessica, but seized upon her vulnerability when she stopped alone at an isolated gas station. This pattern appears in 73% of stranger abduction cases, where the perpetrator encounters victims during routine activities. Digital forensics revolution. Even primitive GPS systems from 1998 proved crucial in solving Jessica's case. Modern investigations rely heavily on cell phone data, social media activity, and vehicle telematics. Today's cars generate thousands of data points that can reconstruct a victim's final hours with unprecedented accuracy. The missing white woman syndrome. Jessica's case received extensive media coverage partly due to her demographics: young, attractive, college-bound. This phenomenon, identified by criminologists, shows how media attention correlates with victim characteristics, potentially affecting resource allocation in investigations. Cold case technology. Ground-penetrating radar, DNA analysis, and digital forensics continue advancing. Cases like Jessica's demonstrate that cold doesn't mean unsolvable technology eventually catches up to evidence. Psychological impact on families. The Crawford family's 12-year ordeal highlights how uncertainty can be more psychologically damaging than confirmed death. Mental health professionals now recognize ambiguous loss as a distinct trauma requiring specialized therapeutic approaches. Most importantly, Jessica's case established new protocols for missing person investigations, emphasizing immediate resource deployment and expanded search parameters. Her tragedy became a catalyst for changes that have helped locate other missing persons more quickly, ensuring fewer families endure 12 years of not knowing.